to Pokemon Platinum. We left off last time. We had just made it to Iron Island. Run into old Riley here. And he's going to accompany us today as we shoot through the cave system here on Iron Island. Who is in my party? Ah, good old Terra of Tor. 34, 30, 32, 36, 33, 38. Okay. We really should probably work on Hippopotas. What sucks is that I don't really have any good TMs. Yeah, just don't have anything. I don't have anything Hippopotas can learn. Yeah. Okay, we'll have to just do the best we can. Bum 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 bum. Oh, that's right. You turn the game. I don't know if the game audio is too loud, but I'm gonna turn it down a smidge. Actually, let me test that real quick. Let me pull it up on my phone, because the phone is usually a good way to determine. Perfect. Okay, we got our audio setting to where it should be. We'll stream until these earbuds die too, because usually if my earbuds die midstream and then I try to switch to something else, it causes the audio to get all glitchy. I'm trying to sip some tea to stave off the hunger pains. I haven't been streaming Pokemon because it's October and we've been streaming seasonal games, trying to play spooky games, and we've been doing Luigi's Mansion 2, the 3DS game that they re-released in HD on the Switch. Tyler bought it and I borrowed it from him to play it because otherwise we wouldn't be playing it because I am broke. But since we last met here and did a Pokemon Platinum episode, there's been some news. It's what people are calling the Terra leak. Somebody hacked into Game Freak servers and stole a ridiculous amount of files. They were able to grab beta sprites and beta designs for Pokemon from the entire franchise. They were able to grab artwork from various games. They were able to see concepts and stories that writers on the Game Freak team wrote and made, but that never made it into any of the actual games. There was something about slacking and Typhlosion and stuff, just some pretty questionable material as far as a Nintendo game is concerned, or a Pokemon game in general is concerned. So obviously it didn't end up in there, but people on the internet have been running crazy and running wild with it. Apparently there was something about a show. Like, I haven't followed it super close. I've just been picking up pieces of it here and there as it comes out. Apparently apparently Game Freak was working on an MMORPG, or at least an MMO, called Rodeo Pokemon, or Pokemon Rodeo, and I don't know if that's been permanently scrapped or canceled. Somebody was able to grab an entire build of Pokemon ZA, which comes out next year, there was a lot of other stuff, but I can't remember everything off the top of my head. Needless to say, this was a huge issue for the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo. And depending upon who you talk to, some people are saying this was warranted. Some people say that it's disgusting. Some people are, you know, clutching their pearls, and some people are saying it's what Nintendo gets. But Nintendo, despite the Pokemon games being on a Nintendo platform every time, Nintendo doesn't outright own it. It's not necessarily a first party title, to my understanding. I'm a little bit foggy on how that works exactly, but you have the Pokemon Company, you have Game Freak, which is under the Pokemon Company. Obviously Game Freak came first, but it's all very complicated, or at least for my dumb ass. But again, people are torn. Some people are happy that all these leaks are out there. Some people are pretty upset that they're out there. I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, I think it's neat to learn these things. I feel bad for anybody whose work might suffer or who might lose their job over it. I obviously don't want any games that have yet to be released spoiled for me, so I won't be looking at any of that if that comes up. But I also saw that Mario Party got leaked online early. The Sonic Generations Shadow rendition has been leaked online. Everything is getting leaked before it's being released. Now obviously there's no love lost between me and corporations. You know, I've made it very clear how I feel about capitalism on this channel over the years. But if it can harm the IPs that I like going forward, then it is of some concern to me, at least. So I'd like to maybe not have that happen. It was interesting stuff. There have been some people who are trying to avoid it. You know, they just don't want to see the information. And there's some people who just post it willy-nilly on social media, and then it comes across in your feed and you see the picture before you have time to react. So I kind of gave up on that years ago, you know, trying to protect myself from things like that. It's at this point damn near impossible. You're going to see things, you're going to hear things. I think that's why there's been a real push in the last couple of years for people who, you know, like super fans of stuff, especially with movies. They try their best to go see them as quickly as they can because they know the spoilers are coming. They know it's a matter of time, and there's not really anything you can do about it. I suppose you could just stay off the internet, but that's actually that's getting increasingly hard to do, just because of how much we've grown dependent on the internet as a tool for everyday living. I don't know. Nothing out of the leak really stood out to me other than there were so many scrapped ideas for various Pokemon games. The one thing we did learn is the fact that the Pokemon Company, they only care about the bottom dollar. They care about money, which, ooh, a company that only cares about money and not creativity. Fucker. I know. But it looks like, and I could be wrong, I might not be 100% correct, but I feel like I owe Game Freak somewhat of an apology because I shat on them for a little while now. And it's starting to look like a lot of the rushed games that are coming out of Game Freak, it's starting to look like that's more the Pokemon Company as a whole and not necessarily Game Freak's fault. Because here's the thing. Developers need time to make a halfway decent product. And you can ask the people who make Call of Duty, when you shit out a new one every year, they're not going to be quality games. So that's the big takeaway for me from the big leak, the big Pokemon Game Freak leak, was the realization that, hey, they're not giving them enough time to actually come up with fun and interesting stuff to put in the games. They're just rushing out a product, which is a shame. It's a real shame. The movie industry's been that way for a long time. It was that way before I was even born. But it really ramped up when I was a kid. And you could just smell the studio groupthink behind a lot of movies from the 90s and 2000s. But that's the way it is for me for a lot of modern video games too, as I could just smell, I could smell the corporate stank all over modern video games, and it takes me out of some of them. And you might say, well, Eric, obviously to fix that, you need to be playing indie games. Well, indie games can sometimes be fun, but they don't always have the polish of a big AAA game, you know? I don't know. All I know is at the end of the day, my big takeaway from everything that's been happening for the last year or two is that Nintendo's lost their goddamn mind. They're suing everybody and their mama for no particular reason whatsoever. Then they got caught being hypocrites by using emulators to run their games at the Nintendo Museum that just opened up in Japan. And then these Game Freak leaks really show that Game Freak's not having enough time allotted to them to make halfway decent Pokemon games anymore. We've just been blaming them. I've been calling them lazy. I was wrong. They have corporate overlords that are standing over them, wagging a finger and a calendar saying, we want a product on our desk by this date or else. So, no, I don't want to give up on Crunch. I desperately need more moves for Hippopotas. So I'm going to go with getting rid of Bite. And honestly, that's kind of one of the bigger reasons I'm not a huge fan of mobile games, other than the fact that they're just money farming machines. I've never played a mobile game in my life that wasn't a gotcha, that wasn't out to get your money through microtransactions. Not one ever. And I spent years telling everybody, I spent years saying, oh, I'm never, ever, ever going to play mobile games. And then Pokemon Go came along and changed all that. And I did manage to play Pokemon Go for years without spending any real world money on it. But then, like, when we got to year like 5 or 6, I started dropping a few dollars here and a few dollars there, and that's when they got me. It took them years, but they finally got me. Granted, I don't do that shit anymore. I did it the other day out of nostalgia, and then I hated myself for the next day or two. I'd spent like $2 in the game, and then I was mad at myself for days. But mobile games have always, they're not really games. They're just kind of give me money machines, you know? Self-destruct. Ah, it got me. Well, February, I guess. Right home. But yeah, I've already done a stream earlier today, and then I recorded a Jurassic Park video, and I thought I was pretty much done for the day. Like, I've showered, I've settled in. I was going to play some Mario Kart and watch something on the YouTubes. And I had to get in the kitchen baking. And the kitchen is right on the other side of this door. So my entire room smells like a bakery. It smells like brownies in here. And you know, like I said, it's I'm trying to fast. I'm in emergency fast mode because I need to drop a lot of weight quick. Because my health is in pretty bad shape. But it made me mad. It made me real mad. And I was like, you know what? I can't do anything. I need to go live. I need to stream. Because if I stream, then I'm not thinking about it. I'm not hovering in the kitchen, staring at the food. So that's why we're here at 10 o'clock at night. Not earthquake. Oh, I just realized this Lucario is 41. Level 41. Hey, earthquake didn't do a ton of damage to Hippopotas. That'll do it. I did go in there and make 2 gallons of sweet tea. I used stevia, obviously, instead of sugar. It tastes disgusting, but it's better than just sucking down sodas every 10 minutes. At least there's like antioxidants and stuff in tea that's good for you. Of course, I got my big tumbler of water, but I can't drink water like I used to. But I'm chugging, constantly chugging, and I'm gonna pay for it later. I'm gonna go pee every 2 seconds when I'm trying to go to sleep. I know it, but I don't know what else to do. It'll get easier in time, you know. I used to fast all the time back in the day. Lost a ton of weight. But I'm not mentally in the same place I was back then, so I don't think I can really do it like that anymore. You know what? Here's what I need to do. Where are my damned repel? Here we go. Oh, never mind. It seems we already have a repel. It's just shit keeps popping out at me because we're horribly under-leveled. Well, folks, it looks like tonight we're grinding. Which is fine. I need to do it. Hey, he's paralyzed. She's paralyzed. Which one of us? Can I take out the scrapper? Oh, never mind. Lucario got him for me. Thanks, buddy. It was very interesting to see a lot of the stuff I've seen from the big leak, but I don't know what they'll do going forward. Because there were a lot of canceled games in there, canceled concepts. Like I said, you know, there was a lot of mechanics that ended up not making it into final games. So there were a lot of cool beta Pokemon ideas too, that a lot of people seem to like those Pokemon styles. Maybe they'll bring them around and use them in future games. I don't know. The beta sprites looked a little rough though. Like I think I personally prefer the final product over the beta sprites that came out of the leak. I didn't like them. They looked very unrefined and basic and hideous. Like I said, if nothing else, I've learned to appreciate Game Freak more and hate the Pokemon Company more. Ooh, high jump kick. Oh, one hit KO. Shit. I bet he doesn't have any other Pokemon, does he? I think Riley just has the Lucario. Yeah. We are going to faint. You bitch. Well, at least I can get some experience out of this. I need to switch Pokemon new. Doop doo. I feel like I'm Staravian right now. Yeah, when I haven't fasted in a long time, the first day is usually the most rough. I'm out of practice. I got to get back into practice with it. I actually think I may have put too much stevia in this tea. I might have to water that down. Tastes awful. Really? No, 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 no. Oh, close combat. You bet your arse I want to learn close combat. No, I don't have any. These are all really good. Damn it. All right, fine. I will give up double team, even though that's a pretty devious set of moves. Graveler. Well, we've managed to level up once. Hippopotamus has gone from 30 to 31. What they do? I did really have fun though, I have to say. I've all but quit playing Pokemon Go completely. And I did get out and play it a little bit the other day and it was fun. It was nice. Until I remembered my Pokemon are all going to get knocked out of the gym and I'm not going to gain any coins. It's agitating because there's some people. There's a couple that lives here. They're on red team, I'm on blue, and every time I try to put in gems, they knock me out. So it's gotten to the point where I just don't even bother playing the game anymore, because for one, there's no new Pokemon to catch. The game's grown stale. I can't stand Niantic, and they're just by piecemeal adding in things that they should have added a long time ago, and it's just, can you unsour on something that you've soured on? Like, once something is ruined, can you unruin it for yourself? Because I want to get Pokemon Go back to where it's not ruined for me, but at this point, between the locals and Niantic, and hey, I don't know that there's any coming back from it, you know, from it. So I just don't know. And it sucks, because I really missed having that. I really miss going out and having an activity to do. I know that sounds sad, but where I live is such a shithole. There's no activities to do here. We got a Walmart and a main street full of fast fucking food. There's nothing here. You know, and I keep telling myself, well, I'm gonna have to move, and I would love to move, but then there's the fact that I don't have a job, and I don't have a job because I can't fucking do anything. I can't get a comfy desk job because I don't have educational and work history stuff, and then I can't physically do much because of all my comorbidities and morbid obesity and yada yada yada. So I feel very much trapped. And I've tried 1,000 things to get out of it and break through it, but it's still sitting here. That's why I said the dieting was so critically important. You know, I need to lose the weight so that I can be mobile again, so that I can take care of myself and work and be able to move the fuck out of here. But I can't do anything if I can't conquer the food issue. And I have to say, for me, you know, the food is very much, I can't necessarily compare the two because I've never done drugs, but I have to assume this is kind of what meth heads feel like, and crack addicts. The grinding of the teeth, the brain noise, the buzzing, just all of it. The fidgeting, the mind racing, heart, like my heart rates up, my heart's racing, and salivating. I would call it, even if you wouldn't consider like binge eating and overeating and all that stuff a disease as far as the physical is concerned, it's definitely a mental disease. And it's one I don't think we talk about enough in society, because everybody's like, oh, it's real simple, just put down the fork, you fucking fatty. Not realizing it's not always that simple. The thing about alcoholism and drugs and cigarettes is that those are extremely powerful addictions, but there are really a lot of ways you can overcome that and walk away from it, and you can like take it out of your life completely for the rest of your life. Food's a son of a bitch because you have to eat or you'll die. And I know a lot of fatties will use that as an excuse to why they binge eat and didn't diet properly. Oh, you have to eat or you'll die. That's a cop-out. I get it. It's just, for me, the reason that I ballooned back up and gained a lot of weight was a combination of a lot of things that just came to a head, unfortunately for me. Medication I was on didn't fucking help whatsoever, but the main culprit was depression. You know, I said I wasn't going to talk about medical stuff anymore, but here I sit talking about medical stuff. It's really just because this was like an impromptu stream where I needed to do something. You know, I had to do something, and I didn't have anything else I could do. It's really too late to go anywhere. I don't have any people to talk to. This was my last resort. Like, this was literally the only thing I had that was like, stop me from eating the whole kitchen tonight. And even after I'm done streaming, the fight will go on until I go to bed. You know, and going to bed tonight's going to be fucking difficult as shit. I'm just going to be laying there tossing and turning and thinking about the food. My brain's going to keep doing that addict thing where it tries to justify and reason with itself. And it's like, you know, it'll keep doing that thing where it's like, you ever try to start a diet and your brain's like, it's a Thursday. You're going to want to eat something nice. You're going to want to get some fast food on Friday evening, or you're going to eat out over the weekend, or why don't you just start fresh on a Monday? And then when that comes and goes and you fail, your brain's like, you know what? Your birthday is in a month. Why don't you just start at your birthday? Make a clean cut. Start yourself a new year. That comes and fails, and your brain's like, why don't you start on the 1st of a month? Today's like the 22nd of the month. Why don't you just eat? Go ahead and just placate my screaming and demands and cave into your brain. Your brain knows best. Listen to your buddy Opalo brain, and then that becomes well, you know, it's October. Why don't you just wait until January 1st? The brain will rationalize. It's very devious. It's very, very devious. Wild Stillix, huh? Oh, self-destruct. We're seeing a lot of that tonight, aren't we? You son of a bitch. Bibarel, I guess. I really need you to stop fucking exploding. I need the XP. I can't get any XP if you keep exploding my hippopotas. God damn it. There. The thing is, like, I've struggled with my weight my whole life. You know, I have a lot of relatives that have addiction problems, so it definitely runs in my blood. And when I was a kid, my mom would overfeed us. Now, it wasn't like she was doing it on purpose and out of nefarious means, but she just, I don't know if it was just being absent-minded or what it was, but she just never said no, and then she kept making these large meals, and then there were always snacks, and one thing led into another, and we were just the fat kids, you know. You can always tell how somebody parents based on how chubby or obese their child is. And because when I was a kid, I was normal or even skinny. But around 8, 9, 10 years old, I started to put on a little bit of chub. And then in my teen years, the eating spiraled out of control. And in my 20s, I was pretty large. And then, you know, in my when I turned 30-ish, I started going to the gym. I was exercising, I was doing my cardio. I was doing a lot of fasting. I was working various jobs and trying to make that stick and work. And I was staying pretty busy mentally. My mind was pretty preoccupied by a lot of different things. So food just kind of started to, it almost got to the point where I started accidentally not eating because I wouldn't think of it. But see, that's the other half of the coin, that my body wasn't like receiving the appropriate "you're hungry" signals. Because like, here's the thing, and a lot of people might not know this, but if you're a binge eater, or if you're morbidly obese, there are several things that you can do to fuck up your body. Number one, you can fuck up your taste buds. You can blow them out to where the simplest of seasonings you can't even taste anymore. I'm there. Something has to be heavily seasoned before I can taste it anymore. Number two, you fuck up the synapses between your brain and your stomach. The signal that your stomach's supposed to send to your brain to tell you, I'm hungry, I need nourishment, eat, is really fucked up because of your years of disordered eating. No longer can I feel normal, everyday, normal person hunger. If I'm not constantly full, then my body thinks I'm starving to death, you know? And you can train that away. You can, if you stick to healthy eating and you regiment yourself and you do it right, then you can correct that behavior over time. Your body will sort itself out. But back, you know, around, you know, my early 30s, I went the opposite direction. You know, I was fasting all the time, drinking a lot of Monster energy drinks, and just again, really on the other side of just it was another eating disorder, just on the opposite spectrum. So I'd be damned if I do, damned if I don't. And it's been a lifelong struggle. The thing they don't tell you is that when you have these conditions, you can learn to kind of be a master of your domain, as they would say on Seinfeld. You can learn to control it. If you ever lose the weight and keep it off, you're going to still have the mental problems that caused it to begin with for the rest of your life. There's no pill that can fix it. There's no mental gymnastics you can do to solve it. That's going to be part of your brain makeup till you're dead. And it sucks. I get it. It's not fair, but life's not fair. If dealing with any of this was easy, I wouldn't be here streaming this right now and using this stream as a distraction from food, you know. Exercising is a pretty good distraction when you're hungry too, but the way I'm not getting a proper sleep right now, and with all this added weight on my body, moving is a chore. I could stand maybe 10 minutes, 15 at the most. I can walk short distances. It's very difficult, like, because my brain just keeps trying to shut off and go to sleep while I'm standing or walking or whatnot. It's not narcolepsy per se, but the energy is just not there. It would be like asking a normal person to stay up for 48 hours and then run a marathon. I feel that would be the equivalent. So it's I don't know. I can tell you that I've worried about this and stressed about it my whole life. I've made myself sick so many times with stress from it. You know, the one thing that I've always had on my side during the whole thing has been youth. I'm 40 now. My body's not going to take this kind of punishment for too much longer. You know what I mean? I don't have youth on my side anymore. My organs are going to start taking twice the damage they took before, if not more. And see, that's the kicker too, is you're aware of all that. It's not like I'm uneducated or uninformed about all of the things that are happening or going to happen to me. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, the fear of death itself does not stop some people from their addictions. That's why you see people who are alcoholics can kill over and die. It's why you see meth heads and crack heads kill over and die. Their body just gets to a point where it can't take it anymore. And again, the fear of death is not always a detractor. It's not powerful enough sometimes to tell your brain to fuck off. But I know I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of dealing with it. I'm so sick of, like, I am so sick of talking about it. I'm so sick of hearing about myself talk about it. I'm sick of living it. Like, I'm just so fucking exhausted all the time. Mentally, physically. I don't know what to do. Tonight felt Truman Show-esque. I'll tell you that. I've been bitching at them a lot lately about food stuff. Like, it's hard to explain. She'll bring me junk food, and I'll say, I don't want junk food. And she'll say, well, late at night, you come through the rest of the house hunting it anyway, hunting people's stashes. You go asking if we have chips or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, that's what addicts do. They seek out the thing they're addicted to. It's your responsibility to fucking say no. But my parents have never, ever, ever. They never learned the word no. But I went off on them pretty hard the other day, and I said, look, we're beyond being in the red here. Things need to happen now, quickly. And then, like I said, it felt very Truman Showy because it's they got in there baking all that junk food, and my room is right next to the kitchen, so now it's all I can smell. Earthquake! Alright. So we've lost 3 Pokemon. Due to this hippopotamus. Let me just hit you with a surf. Jesus Christ. One of the things that's become like super clear to me recently, especially since we started doing these Pokemon playthroughs, like I had this moment of clarity when we were playing Pokemon Sapphire, and then I had that moment of clarity confirmed and reaffirmed when I started playing Pokemon Sapphire Platinum. And that is that for some reason that I've yet to be able to figure out, other than just stupidity, for some reason, everything in my life feels harder than it would for the average person. I don't know if that makes sense. Pokemon is considered a child's game. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I just say it's a video game. But you know how people will say that about Nintendo stuff. Oh, Mario, that's a kid's game. Mario Kart, that's a kid's game. 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 And what that does is that gets that it's been said so much, so often for so many decades that even though I don't believe it, my brain has adopted it and my brain believes it. So when I get on here and I publicly do a stream and I constantly faint and black out and go to the Pokemon Center and I fail, it is extremely embarrassing, and it makes me want to cry, and it makes me want to go sit in a corner and die, because it just feels like it makes me feel alone and isolated, like I'm the only person on earth who has this much trouble with the simplest of things. That's what it makes me feel like doing these Pokemon streams, that we run into a problem. Because I don't have anybody else to compare it to. I've had plenty of friends over the years that play Pokemon, but we don't ever sit down and talk about difficulty of it or the ease of it. Like, none of those conversations are ever really held. Hell, with my idiot friends, there aren't really ever any conversations held. But it's like that episode of The Simpsons. I don't remember what season it's from, but at one point Homer buys a grill, a very fancy like barbecue grill, and he goes to set it up in his backyard, and it's got bricks and everything, so he has to you know, set the bricks down, put the mortar in, lay the bricks on top of the mortar and all that. He has to assemble it like that by himself, and he fails spectacularly. And he looks, they do this gag where it shows him working on it, and then it shows the grill complete and perfect, and then it cuts away to show he's just looking at the box. He said something akin to, finally done. Look at that beautiful grill. And then he pulls the box down, and you look at his, and it's a jumbled mess of nonsense. And he's like, why can't mine look like that? And then he starts beating it with a rod or something. And he's like, why must everything I do be so difficult? I've never sympathized with a fictional character more in my entire life. That moment above any other moment across all media has burned into my brain, because it's how I feel on a daily basis about most things. Why? Why is everything I do fail? Why is everything so goddamn hard? Why is everything like 20 levels of difficult for me? Because I look at other people and I see them just coasting. Like if I watch a streamer play, I watch streamers play games, and they might have a little bit of trouble at first, like figuring out a puzzle in a game, but eventually they get it. My dumb ass gets mad, can't figure it out, wanders around for an hour, and then eventually has to grab my phone and look up a walkthrough of it. And I'm just sitting here thinking, wow. Why? Why couldn't I? Why doesn't my brain work? You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I don't know if any of this makes any sense. Like I said, this was an impromptu stream. I just needed something to stay busy because I'm going insane. Trying to fast today and not eat. And they made that super difficult for me and the rest of the house. And I'm just coping the best I can. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're having this conversation. It's going to make a very bizarre episode. If people are watching this in a playlist and they go from the last episode to this one, they're going to be like, what the hell? But I got to do what I got to do. All right, Team Galactic. Well, Team Galactics, they have weaker Pokemon than all the other trainers on Iron Island. Like all these trainers we've been fighting, all these wild Pokemon that we've encountered have been significantly stronger, like their evolved forms. Well, I guess being evolved doesn't necessarily make them stronger, but it just feels weird fighting a Zubat after fighting so many Graveler and Steelix. Stunky! I was hoping he'd use Quick Attack on Zubat and finish what I started. I started to begin our Pokemon Yellow playthrough because we just passed what was the 25th anniversary, something like that. We just passed the anniversary of Pokemon Yellow. I don't know exactly what year or what number, but I saw that online the other day that it was the anniversary, and I was like, oh, we should do a Pokemon Yellow playthrough. I still might. I started to do it tonight. Instead of playing Pokemon Platinum, I started to do Pokemon Yellow, but then two things stopped me. Number one, my Pikachu shirt is in the dirty clothes hamper. I need to wash it, and I would rather wear the Pikachu hat and shirt to start Pokemon Yellow. And the other reason I didn't start Yellow tonight is because I didn't want to start a playthrough with this conversation that we've had tonight. It's probably best if this conversation is tucked away in the middle of a playthrough so nobody will ever see it. I don't think I can drink any more in this tea. It is disgusting. And I've already drank so much water today that it's starting to just make me queasy thinking about drinking water. Which you would think would help with the hunger pains and the desire to eat, but no. My eating disorder is so bad and so severe that I could have stomach flu and it wouldn't slow my eating down at all. And you're probably thinking, yes, it would. No, it wouldn't. I know from experience it wouldn't. I'll eat it and just throw it up. Then I'll be hungry because I throw it up, and then I'll eat again. The one thing I can say that I've never done is I never did, I forgot which one's which. There's the one where people get skinny because they don't eat, and there's anorexia and bulimia. One is where you vomit or purge after eating. I never encountered either of those. Not that the thought hasn't crossed my mind. It's just the fatty that I am, I don't want to lose that feeling of being full. That would be counterproductive to the binge eating and the disordered eating to begin with. Not to mention, I don't want to do a lot of damage. I don't want to do all that damage to my esophagus. It erodes your teeth away and rots them away, and I didn't want to go down that road. But and it sucks because I've made so much progress here in 2024. I have so many little victories under my belt this year. I've worked really hard on myself. I've worked really hard to get from where I was last year to this year. And I knew this was going to be the more difficult one. I knew this was going to be the big one. Um, and then, of course, next year when I have this under control, there'll be another big threat that I'll have to work through. You know, I pretty much come to the acceptance stage that because I've lived the way I've lived for so many years, for the rest of my life, it's going to be a constant struggle to not fall back into old habits. And that's just never going to go away. That's just my life now. I think I can manage. I've experienced some of the darkest moments I think a person can face when it comes to the depression that I've been through. So I now have I have a scale of experience now. I know how bad it can get, and I know how little it can. I know the severity levels of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So now I have something to compare how I'm feeling every day to. You know, are you at your best? Are you at your worst? Yes, no, you know, and I can go from there. Which I'm pretty glad I have that scale now that I can like juggle myself with, you know. Oh, the old Pokemon games. Back before they would just send the Pokemon they're trying to give you to the PC. I've got to physically go put this little son of a bitch in the box and then come back for the egg. Okay. Getting out of this cave is going to be fun. But I have a plan. Like I said earlier, doesn't matter that I have a plan. Fuck me, apparently. Just run! Jesus! You're level 39. Boom. Jesus Christ. Now, how do I get all the various items in this cave? Shit. I guess I have to go around this way. Son of a bitch! Riley, no! We missed some trainers! Oh shit, they're gonna team up on me, aren't they? I did this wrong. Horribly wrong. See, I was talking and not thinking. Got the fat brain and the brain fog going on. At least it's a Magnemite and a Geodude. That'll make things a little easier at least. Yeah, I don't know how many people are aware of that, but fat brain is very much a real thing. The fatter you are, the more obese you are, it affects your brain negatively. It slows down your brain and it can cause brain fog. It will affect your cognitive ability to do things. Trust me, it's a real thing. I just call it fat brain because I don't know what it's called medically. I learned about it recently. And I've experienced it too. Like I've always been of average, maybe a little below average intelligence. I've never been a genius or anything. But I definitely could tell the difference between how smart I was in my teens versus like my 20s and 30s. There's a lot of diminishing returns there because of the fat brain. What am I doing? Okay, I need to switch Pokemon. Wait, do I need to switch Pokemon? Because I could just burn a turn. Torterra's gonna take you out anyway. You didn't get a chance to explode. I am hoping that if I can stick to this and lose a lot of weight, then it will help with the fat brain a little bit. I'll get some of my brain power back. Hoping it'll help with hand-eye coordination, timing, all of that. I want all of that back so that I can fucking do stuff again. I will tell you this. You want to hear something weird and funny? The most bizarre like feeling when you're fasting is brushing your teeth, because you haven't eaten anything but you still need to brush your teeth. So there's always that like awkward feeling when I go to brush, because when you're fasting and you don't have 2 or 3 meals a day, it's like, well, when do you brush? Do you just brush once a day at the end of the night before you go to bed? Do you still try and maintain 2 times a day, you know, just because you want your breath to be fresh because you're talking with people? You know, there's always the question of how many times a day do you brush your teeth when you're fasting. Me, typically, I know this is a bad habit, but I usually only brush my teeth once a day. I know I should probably do it more, but I always brush at night after I've eaten dinner and before I go to bed, sometime in between the two. Now, I do floss after every single meal. There's nothing I can't stand. There's nothing I hate more than the idea of having food in my teeth. I can't stand that idea. I hate it. It bothers me. But I usually, I don't usually brush when I first wake up. For one, I'm just too lazy, and 2, I just brushed before I went to bed. Why would I brush again? That's something that always bothers me on TV shows. I don't know if you've noticed this, and I think I've mentioned this on the stream before. Why on TV do you see a character wake up, go into the bathroom, brush their teeth, then go downstairs and eat breakfast? Is there like a reason for that? I've been meaning to Google that, but I'm never thinking about it when I have my phone in my hand. That has always bothered me. Who the hell brushes before they eat a meal? Never understood that. Does something happen in your mouth that I'm unaware of while you're asleep? Like, is there a film on your teeth and your tongue? Does something happen to your saliva? I don't know. Why? Yeah, I just want to know why. Yay! We got to it, and it was just a stupid HP up. Wait, I gotta turn this air conditioner off. It's cold. Well, I gotta be honest with you, we've been streaming for over an hour, and I do feel a hell of a lot better than I did at the beginning of the stream. Felix! Maybe I'm starting to feel tired. It's after 11 o'clock. tell you something else that sucks is that I don't have anything to play on my Switch, and I don't have a Steam Deck, which sucks because I really want one. Because I really love handheld gaming. It's my favorite. I prefer handheld over like on the big screen, mainly because I like being able to watch something or listen to something while I'm playing a game. I know some people do that with music. Some people will put on a podcast or something while they're playing a game. That ship sailed for me years and years ago, like being able to focus on one thing at a time. I do it while streaming with you guys, but like when I'm not streaming something, I can't really just sit down and play a game by itself in a vacuum. I can't do it. I can't. I have to have a TV show going, or in this day and age, I have to have some other YouTuber or streamer going, you know. I can't do it. I can't. I won't. But there's nothing to play on the Switch. I've run out of stuff to play. The other day I shot through Zero Mission just for fun. Then I played Super Metroid just for fun. And then I started Fusion and I was like, I'm all Metroid out. I want to play something else. And I loaded up the Game Boy and tried to play some Game Boy games and I wasn't feeling it. Then I tried the NES app and then I wasn't feeling that. Then I tried looking on the 64 section. I tried a lot of different games and I ended up just not liking a lot of the stuff I was trying out. And then my dumbass sits here and uses Smog, poison attack against a steel type. But yeah, I couldn't find anything to play on the Switch. Mario Kart's pissing me off. Nintendo has this bad habit of breaking Mario Kart. It's one of those deals where with every patch they release from Mario Kart, one patch will fix it, then break it, then fix it, then break it, then fix it, then break it. And right now we're in the break it cycle. And I don't know that they're going to patch Mario Kart ever again, so it may just be unplayable at this point. And what I mean by that is when I go online to play with strangers with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, I spent so many hundreds of hours playing that game online that I have a sense of I can tell when a player is about to get certain items. I can kind of tell when there's somebody's about to use a lightning or somebody's about to hit us with the blooper. I can kind of tell based on what position I'm in and how the match has gone so far. I can kind of get a feeling for, oh, somebody's about to start using red shells, and I'm almost never wrong either. I've gotten it down to a skill, serious, you know, really. And it's every time they patch that game, it changes it completely. It changes the rubber band AI mechanics. It changes who gets what item and what place mechanics. Something I didn't think about till chat said it the other day too is your items can also vary depending on your character. But I knew that, but it can also vary depending on your cart that you use. Now that I did not know. All I know is that I've just mindlessly played it for something to keep my hands busy over the years while I'm doing something, like watching something. I'll sit and just play Mario Kart and I'll go on like autopilot. I won't really be paying attention. I'll just be playing it. And doing that so much over the years has kind of given me like this sixth sense of when an item's coming. And after every patch, it's different. I'm sorry, did I not use a repel? Did I not use a repel? Because there we go, it ran out. Oh, I can't walk through that crack. Need to get that item, which means going this way. Dun. I gotta pee so bad. I've been drinking water and tea. No, not the bike. Oh, my back. I'm hoping that's another thing. I need to lose the weight to help ease the pain in my back. Oh, I got so many aches and pains for somebody my age that I shouldn't have. Oh. I want that egg. I want it now. You'll give it to me now. Ooh, the shiny stone. We could evolve Togetic if we... Or Togetic if we have one. Do I have any steel types that we need to evolve? Because we've already evolved Onyx into Steelix. We did that for our Soul Silver playthrough, I think. That's Iron Island, everybody. Go back to Kennelave. I need to go and heal my team. And then we'll go and fight at the Pokemon gym. Oh, we talked to him last time. I remember that now. Dun, 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 dun. You know what? Hey, look at that. We actually managed to get a few levels out of that. We got him from 30 to 30, or got her to 30 to 33. We're not going to do all these trainers tonight. We're not going to do the gym tonight. Starting to kind of fade out here. But we'll fight one trainer and see what he's got. Of course he does. You know what, we'll go with Staraptor. Staraptor has a fighting move. We have close combat now. Yes, this will do. This will do nicely. Since this was successful, as far as I know, I might actually start doing this until I can get a complete control over my situation, you know? I might kind of use our Pokemon playthroughs as a crutch. And what that means is I might come on in the afternoon and do my normal stream. We just stream whatever series we're doing. And then I might come back at night when it's late and I have nothing going on and my brain is just in hunger mode and all it wants to do is eat. And we may sit down and do a Pokemon stream. Assuming that this works, assuming that I can go the rest of the night and not eat the whole kitchen. Oh, look at this. This is a pleasant surprise. That was a nice little sweet little way to end this stream. Hippowdon. The female of the species is black, where the male is it retains its like browny camouflage-y look. I always thought this was the shiny back in the day, but nope, it's not shiny. This is just how the female looks. Alright, so we had 2 evolutions today. Staraptor and Hippowdon. This was a good idea. I've done stuff like this before in the past. This is not the first time I've used my stream as a crutch to like keep my mind busy. Like if I'm really bad depressed or have bad anxiety, or maybe I had a rough day IRL out in the world where something terrible happened, or I've used it to drown out food noise before. So this is not new. I've done this before. It's just I haven't done it in quite some time. It's been a hot minute since I've used a stream as a coping mechanism. But I'm gonna head off. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Let me pop a real quick save. See you, folks.